Welcome back to a new episode of Mindful Pulses. It has been a while, so welcome back to this channel. Thank you for giving me a follow. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of slowing down to accelerate later on. What a fantastic view here in Encinitas, one of my favorite walk that I try to do on a regular basis. It just calms my mind with the beautiful Pacific Ocean. Look at this, incredible. So today we're going to be talking about the importance of prioritizing, slowing down, being patient, in various contexts. One of the contexts that I want to talk about is when you are in position of responsibilities and you have to manage a large team, or you are overseeing a number of functions in a company, for example, whether it's finance, HR, customer success, sales, marketing, balancing all of your time and making sure that you are able to stay on the offense is sometimes quite challenging. I recently had a conversation with a founder who was telling me that he was still in the red and he was trying to balance the budget, and at the same time was very excited about his pipeline and going after various markets. And I can see in his eyes and the tone of his voice that there was a lot of anxiety around balancing the budget and getting to a break-even point, but at the same time being very anxious about the fact that he might be missing momentum and the opportunity to go after new markets, new verticals, new clients. My advice to him was protect your peace. That includes your inner peace, which is probably the most important thing you should protect in your life, period, almost ahead of health. Being peaceful, internally allows you to think critically and make the right moves, right? So I did mention to him that he should first focus all of his energies on really stabilizing the company financially, even if that means, feeling that you are going backward and then going back at it, and going back on the offensive later on, maybe 2, 3, maybe 6 months down the road. I do think that this is a very valid point and a very important skill set to be able to acknowledge the important versus the urgent, right? So the important in that case is just making sure that the company can survive on its own, which is not something that is always possible. What a gorgeous day, absolutely gorgeous day here. The same goes, of course, for your life, and specifically when you are bringing a client on board, having conversations early on and not trying to sell at all cost, but having more of that consultative approach seems to be the sensible thing to do. And it's very clear to me that the most successful people, doesn't matter what businesses, what vertical, what product or service, are the one who are able to put themselves in the very feet of the customer they're trying to sell to. In other words, tell me how to run my business is kind of the idea. And it's interesting because it translates across technology, whereby a lot of the software as a service companies today are offering somewhat of a expected value. Whether it's marketing technology, hospitality technology, you name it, everybody expects the platform to work, right? But the missing link, I think, has to do with the ability to leverage BI, business intelligence, and AI or machine learning to essentially have more of a prescriptive approach to business. What that means is being able to leverage what you offer as a service, but have a layer of technology that actually tells you when you should be leveraging that service or product. Case in point, again, tell me how to run my business. A lot of these operators don't know what they don't know, and this is very much about picking up on the signals early on to avoid, for example, the leaky bucket, avoid missing, staff or having attrition or missing sales or customer success function. It's about being preemptive and again prescribe a solution ahead of time. And I think that having that additional layer of service is what that's going to be the game changer. That is going to be the must-have within the next 36 months, 3 years. That's probably even stretching it out a little bit, given what's happening right now with AI. So I always advocate for staying a little bit ahead of the curve when it comes to embracing new technologies. And the bottom line is, I don't care if you're a great SaaS company, if you don't have an AI strategy and if you don't have that layer of BI plus AI that integrates with what you're offering, at best, you'll survive, but you won't grow. At worst, you will just die. So that's my thought around that. Check out this house over there. This place wasn't built just about a year ago, and apparently they divided that in like 4 or 5 units, each $5-6 million. The first one here in the front is probably closer to 8. I don't know that I would want to live here, to be honest, because you don't really have any privacy. But can be that view, that's for sure. Anyway, not gonna happen. The other example that I give in terms of slowing down to then accelerate is in life. I don't know if some of you have teenagers or kids that are in college, soon to be out of college. The idea that you should just jump right in the employee pool is crazy to me. I think those are the years when you're in your 20s, early 20s, at least for 2 years, where you should absolutely explore and try different things. Don't get me wrong, work, but really sort of focus on the experience and the skill set as opposed to the pay. So way more valuable to go work, I don't know, in Paris at a French bakery for $500 a month, or even free, and learn the craft of how to cook a croissant and mix properly all the ingredients. Skill set that you will of course be able to leverage for the rest of your life, as opposed to go there just to have some fun and make $1,000 or more and focus on the pay. So I would almost say that you should almost pay to have those types of internships where you can really spend time with maestros and masters of their crafts, and essentially be able to learn those skills. Matter of fact, I think there should be a company that put together entrepreneurs and folks that are really skilled at their crafts, to be paid in exchange of extending knowledge and know-how, and of course based on some qualification and motivation. I think that would be a brilliant idea, because essentially what you're doing now is creating a second tier of workers that are really learning hands-on. And I don't think that it takes years. Sometimes it does, but if you're want to become a skilled painter or writer or an architect, I guess. But for other jobs like a plumber or a construction worker or like I said, a baker, I'm sure like you could learn this within maybe, you know, a year or two, especially if you do that every day as a practice. So practicing as a trade, I think, is a fantastic idea, especially early on. The money will come later, but again, it's counterintuitive, right? Because, you know, you want to focus on making money right away, right off the gate. Mistake. Unless, of course, you don't have the option. I understand that. But if you have the luxury of, quote unquote, taking a break, or if you live with your parents and you have the opportunity to just learn and see how a company functions, for example, you know, what are the things that you should stay away from, how people communicate, how to influence people, that is invaluable. It's also a great way to boost your self-esteem and your confidence, which is so incredibly important in every interaction that you have. One of the things that's quite frankly missing a lot with kids these days, I don't care, 18 years old through maybe even 30, is the lack of social interaction and making that effort, because everybody's on their freaking screen. And literally that generation that was born, you know, in 2000 just grew up with that and never really had the chance to hone their skills, their social skills, which are so incredibly important so in this day and age. But let me know your thoughts around this counterintuitive idea that one should be slowing down to accelerate further, whether that makes sense or not. And then one last thing, as it relates to conversation with clients, sometimes millions and tens of millions of dollar clients that I've had the privilege to engage with, so long as you are always genuine and you have a very high work ethic, if the opportunity doesn't seem right, being able to openly acknowledge that with the potential clients and really act on their behalf as a consultant is so incredibly powerful. And it is a way for you to actually advance potentially the opportunity. So being able to say in those areas, you know, we're probably not going to be the best option for you for X, Y, and C reasons. However, we might be able to do this other thing and might be able to bring another partner. Now you're not trying to sell at all costs, right? You're trying to really put yourself in the shoes of that potential client, that partner, and that will resonate through the organization and really will make you different compared to your competition. So it's a skill set, you know. And by the way, if you lose the deal altogether, that's okay, because it comes from a place of being genuinely advocating and rooting for your prospective client or prospect. So I hope that makes sense. And then, you know, next time around, if it doesn't work out, they most definitely will introduce you to maybe the next $1 million opportunity. If you enjoyed that video, please give me a follow, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next one.